The price we pay for love. Hey everybody, it's Venus. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hey, welcome. So I don't know if some of you follow me on Instagram and whatever else I'm on. But on there I said the other day that the reason that I've not been uploading or making any posts recently is because my eldest cat died. So I thought that by doing this kind of video and talking about it, it would help me come to terms with it a bit more. It's still really early days, so I'm still completely in shock, devastated. So in this video I will be talking about pet grief, so if that's something that will trigger you, I would suggest that you go off and do some self-care or something you enjoy, or check out one of my other videos because I've got over 100 now. So there might be something that interests you. So yeah, my cat Tanya, she was 17 and last week she was put to sleep. So I thought I would talk about a little bit of starting off like when I first got her to like most recently. So if that's something that you want to listen to, you're very welcome to. So when I was about 15, my mum got her own house because she and my dad split up, and I wanted a cat because I'd never had a proper pet or anything. I'd had like hamsters and guinea pigs, but not like a proper fluffy pet to take care of, because you can't really hug a hamster, can you? So when I was 15, it was back in the day when internet wasn't really a thing, so we had to look at things called newspapers to find a cat. And we went down to the cat and dog home here in Edinburgh. They didn't have any, they just had outdoor cats. I didn't want an outdoor cat because, well, there's various reasons why I don't want or didn't want a cat to be outside in the city, but I won't go into that. So those were all outdoor cats, and then we went to another cattery that had rescue cats. They had indoor cats, but those cats weren't good with other pets, i.e. dogs, and at the time we had a Yorkshire Terrier. So I had to leave it another few months, and then in the paper I saw that there were these cats, but they were like all based in Bo'ness, which is it's about an hour drive away from Edinburgh City, I think. But I didn't drive, of course, being 15. My mum didn't drive, so her friends took me out to Bo'ness to go and get her. Now, when I got there, I wasn't actually meant to get Tanya. I was meant to get another cat, but for whatever reason, that cat had gone somewhere. I can't remember why. So I got Tanya. Now, when I got Tanya, she wasn't actually called that. She was called Paris, but I didn't like that name, and I wanted to call her Tanya because apparently, I'm not sure if this is right, but apparently the name Tanya means independent, and of course cats are really independent. And cats have really long nails, and at the time I was obsessed with a show called Footballers' Wives, and in that show the main character was called Tanya Turner, played by Zoe Lucker. She had really long talon nails. It was part of her character, so that's why I chose that character's name. Yeah, and then I got her home and then got really excited because she'd done her first poo in the litter tray. And it was exciting because at the time it, taught me responsibility of me being responsible for another living creature. And so she stayed with me since I was 15 up until now. I'm in my 30s. So she saw me through my teenage years, 20s, 30s. You know, physical health problems, mental health problems, meeting my husband, other successes. She's just always been there, the only constant in my life, because all my grandparents have gone, my mum's gone. Like my close relatives. I mean, I have 2 sisters, but we've not always had the best of relationships, but we're really good now. But yeah, Tanya was like the only constant in my life. And for people out there that don't really believe that pet grief is a thing, it is a thing. If you don't believe it, that's your problem. Off you pop if this doesn't interest you. I don't really care. This is my truth. And yeah, but I mean, her life wasn't uneventful. When I got her, she had to be neutered because she kept going into heat, and I had no plans to use her as a breeding cat. And apparently when you get cats spayed or neutered, they have like a lesser chance of developing cancers. So got that done. And there was a time when I had, in my room when I was, a teenager, I had like this bunk bed, and underneath it was like a desk and a futon chair. And the window was open, and I went to go maybe to the bathroom or to the kitchen for some tea or whatever. And Tanya followed me, but the door slammed shut. And you know how cats, when they walk around, when they're happy, their tail kind of hooks at the end? That came away. So she had to go to the vet, get all that tidied up, and it all shaved around the base of the tail. Well, not the tip of the tail, sorry. And it looked like a little worm. And it still makes me feel cold to this day. And there was a time when she was jumping from that bunk bed and she wanted to get to the windowsill, but she didn't make it, and she fell on the floor, and it broke one of her legs at the back, and so she had to get a metal pin put into that. So she was, a survivor. She'd used up some of her 9 lives. But within the last year or so, she'd really started to slow down, and she'd been on and off her food, been sick now and again. But in recent months, she just was constantly drinking all the time and would scream for more water, and she couldn't regulate it, and she kept peeing. And I took her to the vet last year, and she said, might be her kidneys, watch out for it. And of course, with things that have happened recently, we've not been able to get to the vet. It's only been absolute emergencies. So yeah, thanks for that. And last week she'd pretty much sleep 23 hours a day, only get up to drink, eat, and go to the loo. Sometimes she couldn't make it into the loo. And I mean, it's only like a shallow tray, it's not a box that we have for the cats. Not all of my cats like the hooded box. So we just use a couple of, like the shallow trays, and she couldn't get into that, or when she did get into it, she would miss her aim and it would go on the floor, and so we had to get this. It's like a doormat that had a rubber bit underneath so it wouldn't go onto the flooring. And then last week, even when you went near her, she was just like crying out for whatever reason. So I thought, no, I have to take her to the vet. And thankfully they classed that as an emergency. And they had a look at her, they felt her tummy, they felt her heartbeat, and they checked her breathing and things, and yeah, they said that they were very, very concerned about her, and given her age and the symptoms that she was showing, they felt that they felt that they did really want to do scans or like exploratory surgery. So they felt the best thing to do would be to let her go. And I wasn't expecting this at all. I knew that, when cats get to ages like 17 or things, yeah, they get a bit slower, as do people when they're older, But I wasn't ready for that. So after that, they said, we can do it just now if you want. And I said, well, because I was the only person allowed into the vet, one person at a time. And so my hubby was waiting outside, and I had to tell him. And after, between being told what would be happening and me going outside, I was absolutely hysterical. Normally I'm not one for showing affection outside. I feel, for me, displays of affection, things are private, and I didn't really care about it, and I just clung on to my husband for dear life. And the people outside, because there was other people waiting outside with their dog, and they wanted to come over to give me a hug as well, but they couldn't. They said that they were very sorry, and I really felt their kindness. So I went back in on my own, and they said, because they left her in the carry case that I took her up there in. I had a nice fluffy like blanket thing, but it was like a shaper that kept it's one of these zip up bags, with mesh at the side and things for carrying your pet. And they kept her in there, and they had a drip in her arm. And they said, whenever you're ready, well, you can say goodbye. And they said it would take a couple of minutes. It didn't take a couple of minutes, it was maybe half a minute. And as they put it in, she was standing, and then as it was beginning to take effect, she just lay down, and then she was gone. And so with that was 17 years of memories. And because my because Tanya, she knew my mum as well, so it was a bit like another bit of my mum going as well. The ties that bind. So in the days afterward, still now, I've got this thing in my mind thinking, what right do you have to play God with someone or some being's life in her mind, was she thinking, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, please don't do this? Or was she thinking, because animals can't really tell you if they're in pain, unless, it's obvious. Or was she saying, yeah, it's my time to go? It's at times like these when it's horrible to be an empath, because what do empaths do? They put themselves in other people's or beings' situations. I'll be very honest with you. I think this is as bad, or if not worse, than when my mum went. I feel because I'm the kind of person that with my animals, I just cover them with love all the time. And, they can go anywhere they like in the house, apart from the kitchen. They sit on the bed, sofa, lick my face. I sit and talk to them as if they were, little humans. Refer to them as the kids, kind of thing. I just feel like I have this void. And then there's like the routines I would have with her, like at night time, right before bed, she would come through and say, I need fresh water. Because I would go in the kitchen, she'd be behind the door, and she would go, Meh. And you'd go and get her some fresh water and put it in the little glass dish that I had for her, because she would only drink out of glass dishes. She wouldn't drink out of anything else. She used to drink out of the tap directly when she was young, but not recently. Or having to feed her separately from the other two cats, because she didn't really eat quickly, ever, at any age. And so if you left any food lying, the other cats would eat it and she wouldn't be able to go back to it. So there's that. Or having to get different food from the other cats because she was very fussy with what she ate, yeah? She wouldn't eat like anything cheap or like duck or rabbit. It had to be like chicken and turkey and fish and things. Like her favourite thing to eat was probably chicken done in the oven, like chicken fillets. Or these little tins of, I think they're like cat soup kind of thing. They're about 70p for a little thing that size. But she was worth it. Also, I wanted to say in this video, if you're someone that's recently lost a pet and you're feeling really, really emotional and all those things, it's absolutely normal. You're not alone with this. And if people just don't get it, then try to explain it. And if they're not really open-eared, don't bother. You know how much it hurts. You don't need anyone else to tell you how much it hurts or doesn't hurt, or what it should feel like. Yeah, your pain is valid. Or if you feel you need to speak with someone, I'll try and find the link to a charity and I'll include it in the description if you want. That's for the UK. I'm not really sure about other countries, but I'll do my best to find one for you if you want me to. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say in this video. Did I? Temporarily forgot how all this works again. Grief is exhausting. So, if you want to talk about your pet grief, also let me know in the comments. It would be nice to talk with someone else that's going through this. And please don't be ashamed. I heard someone once say that grief is just love in disguise. I'm trying to see it like that. It's not easy. my God, it's not easy. And I think the reason that it hurts the most is because from the age of like 15 to mid to late 20s, I always felt that I was always someone that was destined to be alone forever. So that's why I got Tanya, amongst other reasons, and my other pets. I wanted to surround myself with other beings that were just loyal to me and that just understood me and that loved me unconditionally, you know. I didn't ever think that I would meet anyone. So perhaps that's why it hurts a little bit more. So yeah, I hope you've been able to understand any of that. If you have, thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate your time. If you want to, you can subscribe, like, comment, you know, do all that good stuff. And I shall see you again soon with another video. I have got others filmed that I need to edit. Some that are a bit more uplifting, funny. I filmed them a couple of weeks ago. I've just not got around to editing them because I've been busy with wig work. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Take care. Bye.